There's a principle Napoleon Hill mentioned often, but few people ever understood it. He didn't shout it. He didn't label it as a step to success. He quietly tucked it into his writings, hidden between the lines. Yet, it's the same principle that separates people who talk about success from those who quietly build it. That principle is silence, not silence as in the absence of sound, but silence as a form of power. The kind that grows inside you when you stop reacting, stop explaining, and start observing. The kind that shapes leaders, not followers. Hill once said, "Tell the world what you intend to do, but first show it." That's not advice against ambition, it's a warning against leakage of energy. Every time you talk too much about your goals, you release the very energy meant to make them real. You see, silence builds momentum. When you stay quiet, you store emotional fuel, you keep your focus undivided. You let your subconscious mind work without interruption. Hill understood that the human mind is a powerful transmitter. It sends out vibrations that shape our future. But if you constantly speak about what you'll do, you scatter that energy before it ever becomes reality. The most successful people in the world share one thing in common. They move quietly. They speak through results. They don't announce every move. They prepare in the dark so the world can witness the light later. Hill's silent principle isn't about isolation, it's about control. Control over your words, your thoughts, and your reactions. It's the ability to sit still when others rush, to plan when others panic, to listen when others argue. In silence, the mind sharpens. It connects ideas that constant noise would bury. It allows you to hear your inner voice, the one that tells you what's truly right for you. And that's the voice Hill wanted everyone to find. So before you start chasing every opportunity, before you start telling everyone what you're building, learn to build in silence, because what grows in silence becomes unshakable. That's the hidden power Hill left behind, a quiet force that turns ordinary minds into unstoppable ones. And in the next section, we'll uncover why silence multiplies your power faster than anything else you can do. Napoleon Hill understood something most people still overlook. Power doesn't just come from action, it comes from concentration of energy, and silence is what concentrates it. When you're silent, you're not wasting energy explaining yourself. You're not defending your dreams to people who don't understand them. You're not leaking motivation every time someone doubts you. Instead, all that energy folds inward. It builds pressure, like steam trapped inside an engine waiting for the right moment to move mountains. Hill called this the power of controlled attention. He believed the mind becomes unstoppable when all of its energy is directed toward a single definite purpose. But noise, whether it's from others or your own constant talking, scatters that focus. Every unnecessary conversation about your goals drains the force that could have fueled your progress. That's why the great achievers don't announce what they're building. They stay silent and let their work make the noise later. Their silence isn't weakness, it's strategy, because when you stop talking, you start doing. When you stop explaining, you start executing. Silence also protects your belief. Every time you share a dream, you invite opinions. And opinions are poison to early belief. They make you doubt. They make you second guess. Hill knew that belief is fragile in the beginning, like a flame that can be blown out by a careless word. Silence keeps that flame alive until it's strong enough to survive criticism. In silence, your subconscious mind works freely. You stop feeding it doubt from others and start feeding it direction. Hill said your subconscious is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant will grow. If you plant fear, you'll reap hesitation. If you plant faith, you'll reap miracles. Silence allows you to plant faith uninterrupted, but there's another layer. Silence builds aura. People can feel power that isn't loud. They sense when someone's grounded, disciplined, and unshakable. The silent achiever doesn't need to prove anything, their presence already speaks. So when you choose silence, you're not doing less, you're doing smarter. You're letting your actions echo louder than your words ever could. You're learning what Hill meant when he said, When your plans are mature, you will not need to announce them. The world will recognize them by their fruits. Silence multiplies your power because it keeps your energy pure. It keeps you from chasing validation and helps you build momentum quietly. And when that momentum is ready to explode, no one can stop it because no one saw it coming. In the next section, we'll go deeper into how Hill's silent principle turns into strength and how you can use it to develop mental toughness that no criticism or doubt can break. There comes a point in every journey where silence stops feeling peaceful and starts feeling heavy. You begin to question it. You wonder if being quiet means being forgotten. You see others talking, posting, shouting their progress to the world, and something inside whispers, maybe I should do the same. That's the test. Napoleon Hill knew that silence doesn't just build discipline, it tests it. When no one claps for you, when no one notices your effort, when it feels like your progress is invisible, that's when silence becomes your forge. Because silence isn't comfort, it's confrontation. It forces you to face yourself without distraction. You see, when you remove the noise, you also remove the excuses. There's nothing left to blame, no one to impress, no audience to perform for. It's just you, your thoughts, and your habits. That's when you see what's really inside your real strength, your real weaknesses, your real hunger. Hill called this self-mastery. It's the ability to control your mind before you try to control anything else in life. Most people never get there because they can't sit still long enough to hear themselves. They fill silence with movement, scrolling, talking, planning anything to avoid facing their reflection. But silence exposes you. It forces you to deal with what's unfinished within you. And here's the paradox. The more you sit with silence, the stronger you become, because silence teaches you to find validation within. It builds a kind of confidence that no compliment can give and no insult can destroy. You stop chasing approval. You stop explaining your worth. You start to know it. This is where Hill's silent principle transforms into a weapon. When your confidence doesn't come from noise, it can't be taken away by silence. You learn to move with quiet certainty, to execute without needing applause, to grind without needing attention. That's the mental toughness that separates dreamers from doers. Silence also gives you something the world desperately lacks: clarity. When the world is loud, clarity is rare. In quiet reflection, you start to see your path without distortion. You understand what matters and what doesn't. You start saying no to distractions, no to people who drain your energy, and yes to the few things that actually move you closer to your purpose. And that's when people start to notice, ironically, when you stop trying to be noticed. They can sense something different about you. It's not arrogance, it's composure, the kind that only comes from long hours of unseen work. Hill once wrote, "Your real strength does not show in noise, it reveals itself in endurance." Silence builds that endurance. Every day you choose to stay consistent without validation. You're training your mind to operate on purpose, not applause. So when the silence gets heavy, remember this: that weight is building muscle. The strength you're creating right now will be the reason you don't break later, when the world tests your belief, your patience, and your persistence. Next, we'll move into Section 4, the hidden energy within stillness, where we'll explore how silence connects you with something far deeper than motivation, your inner source of power itself. There's a kind of energy that doesn't make noise. You can't see it, you can't measure it, but you can feel it. It's what great thinkers, warriors, and leaders all discovered when they learned to sit in silence. It's the energy that comes when the mind is still and the spirit takes over. Napoleon Hill understood this long before science could explain it. He called it the vibration of thought. According to Hill, your thoughts aren't random. They carry frequency, energy, and power, and silence is what allows you to tune into them. When your mind is constantly cluttered with outside voices, your true thoughts get buried under noise. But in silence, your inner frequency rises. You start hearing ideas that were always there, waiting beneath the surface. Think about it. Every great invention, every breakthrough, every moment of genius came in stillness. Isaac Newton under the tree, Nikola Tesla in solitude, Hill himself in his quiet study, observing and reflecting on the patterns of success. Silence isn't emptiness, it's the birthplace of creation. But most people never tap into this energy because they fear stillness. They mistake silence for inactivity. They think if they're not doing, they're wasting time. In truth, silence isn't idleness, it's incubation. It's where ideas grow roots before they bloom in action. When you sit in silence long enough, you begin to sense something strange, a calm alertness. It's like the universe starts whispering directions. Your intuition becomes louder than your doubts. You stop forcing things and start aligning with them. You realize that not everything needs to be pushed. Some things need to be allowed. This is the shift from control to connection. You stop trying to dominate life and start working with it. That's where true power lies, not in the noise of effort, but in the quiet of understanding. Hill wrote that every person is connected to infinite intelligence, a vast, unseen source of wisdom and energy. You don't access it by talking, you access it by listening. Silence opens the door to that intelligence. It allows inspiration, clarity, and solutions to flow to you naturally. And here's the secret. Once you experience this kind of silence, ordinary noise becomes unbearable. You begin to crave stillness the way others crave validation. You realize that the calm you once feared is actually your greatest power, because when your mind is still, you stop reacting and start responding with precision. That's the hidden energy Hill was talking about. The strength that doesn't shout, the confidence that doesn't need proof, the certainty that doesn't depend on outcomes. So the next time you feel stuck, don't look for more to do, look for less. Turn down the volume of your environment. Step away from distractions. Sit with yourself until the silence starts speaking, because in that quiet, you'll find the one thing that never leaves you, your inner power. In the next part, we'll move into section 5, the moment silence turns into mastery, where you'll learn how to transform this quiet energy into consistent action that creates results the world can see. There's a turning point in every great person's journey, the moment when silence stops being a habit and becomes a weapon. It's when reflection transforms into execution and calm turns into control. Napoleon Hill didn't teach silence for the sake of peace. He taught it because silence, once mastered, gives you an edge the noisy world can't match. Most people mistake motion for progress. They rush, react, and chase every new distraction that flashes in front of them. But those who master silence move differently. Their actions are intentional, their words measured, their energy focused. They no longer waste time trying to prove themselves. They simply act and results follow. Hill once said, "Think twice before you speak, because your words and influence will plant the seed of either success or failure in the mind of another." That thinking twice is what silence trains you to do. It gives you space between thought and reaction, between impulse and response. That space, that pause, is where mastery is born. When you can stay calm in chaos, you gain an advantage. Most people crumble when things go wrong because their minds are already filled with noise. But a silent mind sees clearly. It observes without panic. It adjusts without fear. That's why great leaders make quick, powerful decisions, not because they're faster, but because they're quieter inside. Mastery begins when silence becomes your natural state. It's when you stop needing validation, applause, or attention to feel worthy. You don't chase recognition anymore, you attract it. You stop speaking to be heard and start speaking to make impact. You don't compete with others, you compete with your own potential. Napoleon Hill understood that mastery isn't about doing more, it's about being more. When you cultivate inner silence, you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions. You become efficient, precise, and powerful. Every decision carries weight. Every move is backed by clarity. This is the secret of the most unshakable people you'll ever meet. They can face failure without losing confidence. They can be insulted without reacting. They can walk through storms without being moved, because their silence isn't emptiness, it's control. It's power under discipline, and the best part, mastery through silence compound. The more you practice it, the stronger it grows. Every day spent in reflection adds a layer of understanding. Every moment of stillness sharpens your awareness. Over time, silence becomes your natural rhythm, and the world begins to follow your pace. Hill called this the rhythm of success. It's when your mind, energy, and purpose move in harmony. You're no longer forcing outcomes, you're guiding them quietly, confidently, with intention. So the next time life feels overwhelming, remember this: silence is not retreat, it's preparation. When others are lost in noise, you'll be forming strategy. When they're chasing trends, you'll be building legacy. That's mastery, the kind that never fades because it's built from within. In the next part, we'll move into section 6, When Silence Shapes Destiny, where we'll tie it all together and reveal how Napoleon Hill's silent principle becomes the foundation for lifelong success and inner freedom. Every person comes to a point in life when they must choose between noise and clarity, between reacting to the world or mastering it. Napoleon Hill's greatest lesson wasn't about money, power, or fame, it was about control over the mind. He believed that silence is where destiny begins to take form, because only in silence can you hear the direction your life is trying to go. When you live surrounded by noise, opinions, doubts, distractions, your vision becomes blurry. You chase what others chase, not what you truly want. But when you practice silence, you start hearing something different. Your inner voice, that voice doesn't shout, it whispers, and it always tells you the truth about who you are and where you're meant to be. Hill's silent principle was never about isolation. It was about alignment, aligning your thoughts with purpose, and your purpose with consistent action. Silence is the foundation that makes your goals stable. It turns your dreams from vague ideas into clear missions. It helps you see not just where you're going, but why you're going there. The world around you is built to keep you distracted. Every notification, every trend, every headline pulls your attention away from yourself. But you can't build a legacy if your attention is divided. The people who leave a mark in history, the innovators, creators, thinkers, all understood the value of pulling back from the noise to design their next move. Silence gives you perspective. It shows you the bigger picture when the world tries to trap you in the small one. It allows you to see patterns, mistakes, and opportunities that noise hides. When you become comfortable in silence, you start predicting outcomes. You sense when to act and when to wait. You move like someone guided by instinct, but in truth, you're guided by awareness. Napoleon Hill's silent principle shapes destiny because it puts you back in control. You stop being a passenger of emotions and become the driver of intention. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. And the more you do it, the more life starts responding to your thoughts, just as Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich. Think about it. Every great achievement started as a quiet thought in someone's mind. The Wright brothers, Thomas Edison, Martin Luther King Jr., Steve Jobs, their revolutions began not in noise, but in moments of deep stillness. They dared to think differently while the world was too busy talking. So if you want to change your life, begin with silence. Make it your morning ritual, your evening reflection, your mental reset button. Don't underestimate the power of a quiet hour spent with your thoughts. In that space, ideas are born, strategies form, confidence rebuilds. When you train yourself to find strength in silence, you stop depending on external motivation. You stop needing approval or permission. You become self-fueled, self-aware, and self-led. That's the essence of what Napoleon Hill called definiteness of purpose. Knowing what you want and moving toward it with calm certainty. The world celebrates noise, but history remembers the quiet ones, the thinkers, the doers, the disciplined, because in the end, silence doesn't mean the absence of sound. It means the presence of power. And when that power is mastered, silence no longer hides your strength. It becomes your signature. That's when Hill's silent principle transforms from a mindset into destiny itself.